Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Dinosaur deck profile. So I'm really excited days for you guys because we just got some amazing support for dinos giving us a new fusion monster, Horned Saurus, which actually helps us get to any field spell in the entire game, which is crazy. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This card is our main boss monster that is super easy to put on your side of the field. It cannot be normal summoned or set, it must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard, and it also has the ability once per turn during either player's main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your hand or your field, and if you do, change all face up monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position, basically being a Book of Eclipse, which is amazing. This card also has the ability it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defense position monster, you can inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent and send that defense position monster to the graveyard, which is an awesome ability to do a lot of burn damage to your opponent while also dealing with their entire field of monsters. We then play a single copy of Dino Wrestler Pankratops. I feel like 1 is still all you really need for this deck, and it's an amazing 1-up that's basically a Cyber Dragon for the deck. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand, and also you can contribute it to be able to target a card on the field that your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a really cool ability. We then play a single copy of Xeno. Xeno at 1 is really all you need in this build because you do play the copies of the Xeno spell, making it super easy to get this card, and it has the ability if a card is destroyed by battle of a card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, making it really easy to put on your side of the field. Also, during your main phase, you can destroy a dinosaur monster in your hand or on your field, and then special summon a dinosaur normal monster from your hand or deck, which is a great ability to be able to use this card to get your copy of Frostsaurus on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. This card is the best normal summon in the entire build because this card is the Stratos of the deck. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can take a dinosaur type monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, which is a really cool ability, and this card is a card you always want to see in your opening hand. It also has the ability you can target 1 other level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster on the field and destroy it, then special summon a dinosaur type monster from your graveyard in defense position, letting you tag your dinos in and out, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Miscellaneousaurus. Have you read Misk? This card is absolutely insane. It's currently at 1, unfortunately, but this card is amazing because it has the ability during the main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and during this main phase, dinosaur type monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, which is one of the most broken effects in the entire game. You can also banish any number of dinosaur monsters from your graveyard, including this card, to special summon a dinosaur monster from your deck with a level equal to the number of monsters banished to activate this ability, which is great to be able to summon out your copy of your Orbi Dino or Archaeosaurus. We then play a single copy of Kaitotera. Kaitotera is really good as a 1-of in the deck. Kaitotera is just so good in this build because if your opponent controls 2 or more face-up monsters except a wind monster, those monsters cannot target this card for attacks, which is a pretty cool ability. But this card is really good because during your main phase, you can add a polymerization from your deck to your hand, helping you go in for your copy of Horned Saurus. And it also has the ability, if this card is banished, you can special summon this card, then add polymerization from your graveyard to your hand, helping you recycle your copy of polymerization over and over again. This card is so good as a 1-of in the build, and it's actually replaced Giant Rex because this card does special summon itself if it does get banished, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Baby Ceresaurus. Baby Ceresaurus is really good because if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster from your deck, which is a crazy powerful effect. We then play 2 copies of Petite Pterodon. Petite Pterodon is great, and this card is basically additional copies of your Baby Ceresaurus because this card has the ability, if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you special summon 1 level 4 or higher dinosaur type monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn, which is why we play Baby Ceresaurus at 3 and just 2 copies of Petite Pterodon. We then play 2 copies of the Orby Dinosaur, aka Archaeosaurus. This card is really good as a 2-of in the build because if this card is normal or special summon, you can destroy a dinosaur monster in your hand or face up from your field, except another copy of this card to add a copy of your double evolution pill from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability so you can summon out your copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, making this card a definite 2-of in the build, and the card you're always summoning off your copy of Misk. We then play a single copy of Frostosaurus. Frostosaurus is really good to be able to summon off your copy of Xeno, just so we can go in for a bunch of different plays, and this card is just amazing in the deck as a 1-of. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir is just too good to not play in this deck, which is why I just play the 1-of copy of Pank and the 3 copies of Fenrir, because Fenrir can search itself and spot removes cards off the field, making this card a definite 3-of in the deck, and also just as a Cyber Dragon that can special summon itself to your side of the field if you don't control a monster, making this card a great play to be able to just instantly special summon this card out to your side of the field and search an additional copy of this card from your deck to your hand, which is just really, really good. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's amazing in this deck as a 3-of, just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Polymerization. Polymerization is definitely a 1-of in the deck to be able to search off your copy of Kaidaterra so we can summon out Hornsaurus to get our awesome field spell tech card out onto our side of the field. We're then playing a really spicy tech card that I'm actually going to lay face down, and we're going to play Guess That Card with this card. This card is an amazing 1-of in the deck, and it's a really awesome card that you can actually use with Hornsaurus to be able to use with that card, which is just really cool to be able to do. So we're going to reveal this card in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and definitely hit that bell in there so you can become part of Notification Squad because it helps out the channel a lot, and we're on the road to 100K subscribers, and every subscriber counts. So let's go ahead and check out this really spicy tech card, and it's actually going to be a single copy of a card I bet you guys will not guess, and it's actually going to be a single copy of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This card is a really good 1-of in the deck that can actually lock down your opponent from using spell cards, which is insane if we control a spellcaster type monster, which we just use the Dark Charmer in the extra deck to be able to summon out to our side of the field, leave it on your side of the field, and use this card with Horned Saurus to basically make it so your opponent cannot use spells, which is absolutely insane. We then play 2 copies of Lost World. Lost World is really good in the deck as a 2-of. I don't feel like you need any more than 2 of this card because you can get to it with your copy of Horned Saurus just in case you need to. But this card is really good in the deck overall because it makes all monsters on the field lose 500 attack and defense points except dinosaur type monsters, which is really good, and it also generates tokens, which is absolutely insane. And this card is just a really good field spell to play in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. Double Evolution Pill is really good in this deck as a 2-of because this card helps out a lot in the deck overall to basically use this card to summon out your copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and it's just a fantastic card overall to be able to banish a dinosaur type monster and a non-dinosaur type monster from your hand or graveyard to be able to special summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, being able to summon out Ultimate Conductor Tyranno off this card. We then play 3 copies of Fossil Dig. Fossil Dig is insane to be able to use this card as a Rhoda in the deck, so it's a definite 3-of in the build. We then play 3 copies of Ground Xeno. Ground Xeno is insane as well because this card lets you add a Dinosaur Tuner or a Dinosaur Null monster from your deck to your hand, then destroy a card in your hand, which can be one of the Petite Pterodons or Baby Ceratosaurus, which is really good. You can also banish this card from the grave to fusion summon a dinosaur fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, which is a really good ability. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is definitely a 3-of in the build just to help us dig into the deck because we don't need everything in the extra deck. So this card helps out a lot to just help us dig into the deck to be able to get to the exact cards that we need. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 3, and that's going to be 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is definitely a 3-of in the build just to stop your opponent from using monster effects and also locking down entire columns of spells and traps. This card is a fantastic hand trap and a definite 3-of in the build because it's just a really good card to lock down entire columns of spells and traps by setting this card to your side of the field, and it's a really good card overall. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Horned Saurus. Horned Saurus is definitely a 1-of in the deck and requires a copy of Kaitotera plus a copy of a dinosaur or a dragon monster to make this card. And this card actually helps us out a lot because it instantly puts a field spell on our side of the field, which is crazy. And as the ability, this card can attack directly to turn its special summon, and also when this card is fusion summoned, you place any field spell in the entire game from your deck or graveyard face up in your field spell zone, making this card a crazy powerful card. It also has the ability during your main phase, you can immediately after effect resolves normal summon a dinosaur or a dragon monster, giving you that additional normal summon, which is insane. This card could have stopped at putting a field spell on the field, but giving you that additional normal summon is broken. We then play a single copy of Gigantic Zawile. Gigantic Zawile is really gigantic because this card comes out at 3,800 and is a really awesome boss monster to put on your side of the field that you can summon with your copy of Ground Xeno. We then play a single copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron is just really good to be able to pop cards on the field and uses a walking negate. We then play a single copy of Lars. Lars is a awesome walking negate as well, and this card is just really good overall in the deck because when this card has materials, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, or just 1 if all this card's materials are reptile or dinosaur monsters, then target a face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effect until the end of the turn. We then play a single copy of Logia. Logia is great because this card is insane that when a monster would be normal or special summon or a spell trap card is activated, detach 2 materials from this card, negate the summon or the activation, and destroy that card, making this card basically like a walking Solemn Judgment, which is crazy. We then play a single copy of Dolka. Dolka is really good because this card is a monster negate, which is why we play this card as a 1-of. We then play a single copy of Abyss Dweller just in case we need to lock down the graveyard. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build, and sometimes when you make this card, you instantly win, which is crazy. We then play a single copy of Typhon to round out the XZ monsters. This card is really good in the deck overall as a 1-of because you can make it in just about any situation, and it's just a really good card overall in the deck. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker because you can pop multiple cards on the field. It gets absolutely massive, and it's a great monster to be able to put in this deck. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is great if you go first. You can establish this card with multiple monster negates, which is really nice. We then play a single copy of Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This card is so important in the deck now because you make this card when you have your Secret Village on the field to basically have your Spellcaster, which is really cool to be able to do. You always want to leave this card on the field when you have Secret Village on the field so that you have a Spellcaster so we don't get locked out of spell cards, but our opponent does. We then play a single copy of SP Little Knight. You can change this card out for Nightmare Unicorn if you do not have it. This card can definitely be changed out for Nightmare Unicorn if you do not have it, but if you have this card, play it because this card is a double interruption, making this card a really good 1-of in the build. We then play a single copy of Pentastag so we can use our copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno as a piercing card, which is crazy. We then play a single copy of Link Rebo and a single copy of Secure Guard. Now, the reason we play these in the deck is so that we can basically use Double Evolution Pill to be able to banish a card with a dinosaur monster, which is super easy to do, to be able to use these cards for that play, which is just really important. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is crazy powerful. If you guys have never played dinosaurs before, this is the perfect time to be able to play the deck, especially now that we have Horned Saurus, which is such a powerful card to be able to play in this deck. They can get to any field spell that you want. There's a bunch of different tech cards that you can use. I just feel like Secret Village is one of the best ones to lock down your opponent with, because we already have cards like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno that we can use to basically board wipe our opponent. So that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.